Test, 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 microphone. Okay. So in your settings, your project settings, right now I don't have the file checked out. It gives me an option to check out the file right here. Everything that I put in here, the reason why whenever I type in some sort of value, I hit enter, it actually goes to, in your config folder, this default engine, open with, it opens up, it goes in this text file right here. Right. So if you pull again, it should get that default engine INI, and then it should open up in the blank map or untitled map. Again, it's not a deal breaker as long as you're at 44, and just don't like open up the map and start moving things around and go to the next revision. Cool. I don't think it should be an issue. We could deal with it later on. Again, if I'm not expecting everyone to get through this today. This is totally like Lord of the Rings, where like everyone's going to kind of die as we go along. So if like 3 people make it to the end, that's fine. And if it doesn't work, that's what office hours are for. And we can do it 101 and make sure things work. This does work. Again, I'm trying on a new operating system on a new computer, a new engine, but it does work. So anything we do could potentially be fixed with just editing our own human error. Okay. So project settings. And then at the very bottom, there's these plugins. All right. And under plugins is a section for multi-user editing. All right. So multi-user editing at the bottom. There we go. Cool. And then I can do it locally as well. I'm gonna confuse the shit out of myself, but we'll try it. Nope. All right. So in the multi-user editing, there's a couple things you might want to take a look at. And I'm going to do this since the other computer's in such a high resolution screen. I'm going to bring up my local one so you can see better resolution. Give me 1 second. I like how 427 shows you what it's actually processing when it's doing it, when it's opening. You can only do that with Visual Studio before. All right. Banana. All right. So project settings, multi-user, under plugins, and a few things we want to change. Not much. We're going to put in our display name. I'm going to put in Todd. If you want to put in avatar color, sure. And then there is this little show advanced arrow in the center of the screen. You want to show advanced. And we can all want to make sure that we're using the same port. We'll use port 7000 because it's always worked before. All right. This is also in the instructions that you can follow along with, that you're putting port 7000 for the server port. Cool. The only other thing that you might want to check is that if you want to change the toolbar of your Unreal Engine, you can add in the multi-user toolbar button. Makes it easier to find. It makes you restart the computer though, or restart the engine. I'll do that remotely. So this one I'm going to set up as being our building. '22 server. It's going to be Gothic Black and also port 7000. Cool. So I'm sure we all can figure out the name and color. The only other thing that could lose people is the fact that there's this advanced arrow, and you have to do that to get port 7000. All right, moving on. We'll come back to it. We'll go back through for everyone all the way through. But let's go a little further. All right. So that's the first thing. Then we're going to host a server. No one's going to host a server, just me. I'm just leaving these instructions so you guys can have the full unabridged experience of what it is to host everything. But ours is, we actually come back and edit this so you guys can make it even easier on you. We're going to use 108. Don't do anything just yet. I'm just showing you how you would start it off if you were going to host 108. Again, on this Windows 11 computer, just confirm. Yes, it is 108. All right, so I'm going to set up this one real quick, and then we'll come back and I'll do everything for you as well. All right. So my server computer, you guys can just watch this section. I'm going to set up so it leaves the host blank, and that's fine. And then I'm going to put in the server computer IP address with a colon, that's the 2 dots, 7,000. Don't do anything yet. I'm just doing this on the host. Again, there's a little show advanced. Add in the static endpoint. Hit enter. Cool. All right, so that's the host. Yes, sir. Yeah. They're totally like dimmable. The one should be the one on the left. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone has self-illuminated screens. All right. So, and again, this presentation is also in the syllabus if you want to just open up locally as well. So that's it with the host. Only that computer is being the host. Now we're going to go to the next one, which is steps for joining a session. Okay. So your 0-tier IP goes into this unicast endpoint, :0. All right. So I'm going to be doing that with this computer. This computer is .242. So I'm going to say, sorry. All the way at the bottom, it says UDP messaging. It is 5th from the bottom. All right. UDP messaging. All right. And then put your computer in the unicast endpoint, which is your 0-tier IP, which you should know, or you can reference your IP that you put in the spreadsheet. So on this computer, I'm 242. All right, so 2.2.6:0. And then everyone's going to put for the static endpoint, the server computer that's in the other room, and I'm going to put that in Slack for you. So you just copy and paste it and make it easy. But it's also in this presentation. And it's :7,000. Nope, yours is 0. Yes. The unicast endpoint is :0. Only this, and I don't know what this stuff means. We're just going to follow me, and this is like all we have to do. This is it. So again, it's the mocaps renderer computer, and I'll put that in Slack. All right. So going back to the presentation. So you just have to put in these two things: your computer, which will be 192.168.192. Whatever yours is, :0, and then the server computer, which will be :7,000. And I already put that in Slack. You can copy and paste it. It's also this renderer computer now. 108. Oh, shit. I put the wrong one. My bad, guys. I changed my mind and did this one. 108. There you go. 108. Cool. All right. So let me restart the remote computer because I added in that multi-user browser icon. Locally, we can now see that is here at the end, multi-user utilities. If we rearranged everything, you see a little better. It's this multi-user browser editor. If you didn't want to make that visible, you can come down to, it's kind of hard to find. It's under developer tools, multi-user browser, or just add it to the toolbar. Yes.
Point change back to 0 option.
Make sure you hit enter when you get done. Uh, anyone else have it where you can't actually type in a value and it returns back to 0? You two? Two people? Just two?
I had that, but it worked.
It worked eventually. You might be familiar with the Scottish actor Sean Bean, who usually dies first in most movies and TV shows. You guys might be the Sean Bean. You get decapitated in the season 1 of Game of Thrones. You're Boromir in Lord of the Rings. You don't make it to the end. Uh, we'll resolve it. It's not something I've ever encountered. That's all. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of stuff we might have to do it one-on-one later on. I'm going to try to come back through it and grab everyone, but it's probably going to be user error because I have gotten this to work before, right? All right. So go back to the presentation real quick, and I appreciate you guys being game with me on this. I know it's weird to do this back and forth thing. All right, so now I'm going to launch a server. This is what's going to be hosting. This is now, we're not using Subversion, we're not using Perforce. We are using now version control that's going to be hosted on this computer on the other side of the building, and I'm going to launch a server there. So I'm going to go into the remote thing and go here, and I am going to launch a multi-user server. It has now made a command window, and there's no red or yellow, meaning it's create a server and everything should be good. Yay. This is a standalone command window. If my Unreal Engine crashes on that other computer, I don't lose everything. It's actually all being stored in this command window server. My Unreal Engine could crash and it would be completely recovered. So that's another cool feature with this. So this window is now our version control. And it's going to host all the changes verbosely. All right. And now it says waiting for ACK too long. That's a fun one. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. All right, going back to the presentation, just so we're not skipping any steps. Again, the presentation is unabridged. It's every single step. Things maybe you not want to do, but if you want to host your own server later on, it has the steps. So we've launched the server. The next thing is to create a session. Right, so we're going to create something that we can all join. You can have multiple sessions. We're never going to use more than one. I've never tried it before. Let's just going to create a session. So I'm going to go back over. And hopefully all this stuff's fine. If not, we might just have to change the server to like my laptop or something, but that would kind of suck. So now we're going to go to the session browser, and I'm going to create a session. And this is going to be virtual production fall 2021. Checkbox. All right. There's a session that's been created, and Building 22 server has now joined that session. All right. Now locally, I'm going to go into my browser and see if it shows up. I will also go back to my settings to make sure I did everything right. Oh, people are joining. That's exciting. So it is working. I might close it and then start again, or look at my settings if I don't get a chance to join. Let's see. Did I put in the wrong? Yeah, I put in the wrong one. I had copied the 242. We are 108. My bad to myself. All right. I see VPD fall 2021. And then I could double click it, joining, and I see now that there's Dirk, and Philip, and Todd, and the building server. Okay? That's a good start. That means it works. Now let's see how many people we can grab and have join us. All right? So I think the first setting, going back to like kind of like somewhat the beginning, I think everyone's fine with the fact that we just need to make sure we put in port 7000 on the multi-user editing session. So port 7000 is there. Cool. And now going over to UDP messaging, we need to put in the unicast endpoint, which was your own IP address with a :0. Hit a plus for this array elements, and then type in what's on Slack, which is this 192.168.192.108:7000. At this point, I think that's all the steps there are. So what can I do to help somebody out? What can I show you, or what information can I give you to help get more people involved? Wow. Well, this is a pretty good start. We got a lot of people in there. I think everyone, you deserve a round of applause. This is actually the hardest thing we've been doing all semester long. So, all right, we got this feature going on. Let's point out some of the things here. If somebody got booted, they're probably on a Mac. You just have to rejoin. It's just what it is. What we have now is everyone's name, which you can kind of see. Then you can see presence, right? You can see that you have an eyeball and you have a flag. The flag, if you click on it, means no matter where they are in the project, you will warp to them and find them. We can work on mini maps at one time now. And if you want to find your friend, just like hit that button and you'll find them. The eyeball, if you have like 20 people working in the same game at one time, there might be too many bugs flying around your face. You can just hide them so you don't have to see all these people, these yahoos doing weird things. You don't really care about them. So that's the presence. And then on the right side, you get to see what level they're on. Where like Philip didn't have the untitled map because that wasn't in his config files. So I see that Philip is in sample map or sample level. That's a hyperlink. So if we want to, let's all find Philip and click on that sample level. It'll load it up. This stuff might be slow. I mean, that's what I was trying to get on. That's what I was trying to get on the computer in that room, so it'd be faster, not on my own laptop. But that computer is even on the Ethernet. All right. So now I'm on sample level 2, and some other people are now. Let's go in, and yep, there you guys are. There's Philip and there's Andrew. We found each other. We can go navigate around. We can have all 18 people in this project at one time working in different levels and being productive throughout the entire class period if we want to. I mean, this is the most. I just want you guys exposed to this. I don't want it to become something that gets in the way, but it is like the coolest thing that is the newest development of being able to collaborate and work together. And then we start working in like these big festivals and these big installations. It's also essential. Now, another cool feature is that if you have a VR headset, it works with VR. Instead of having a screen in front of you, it'll have a VR headset on your head, and then you can use your controllers for things. And then you're, designing your level and doing stuff around there. Cool. So, I'm now going to. First of all, I don't want to go too far, but we are going to just move forward. Is there anyone else who thinks like they're really close and they just need a little bit of help? I'm on. You're on a Mac. Yeah. Use the rejoin.
Now the server doesn't come up anymore.
Yeah, I could revert you back to the first week of work of the first week of the syllabus where it says if you're going to use a Mac, install Boot Camp, please. Yeah. No. I'm showing you this feature and we're going to try to use it because it's brand new, but we also don't want it to get in the way of other things we're doing. So we can work in many different fashions. But this is, it would be great if as many people could experience this as possible so that we could do today's exercise, which is exploring the features that are involved here. And then I literally like consult with companies all the time to help them get this started. If you were getting hired and you said, "Oh, I know how to do this," and you can like use my like Google Slides and not tell them that you have it and like figure it out, they're like, "Oh, wow, okay, that's amazing." So like this is hard to get working. This took me, weeks to document and make it work. Cool. So now we're all jamming about. Let's try to see if we can. I was gonna say fuck it up, but we're recording this. Let's just try to mess with the tools and see if we can break it and see what this thing can do. So I am going to play a little game of follow the leader. I'm going to say new level, and I'm going to create a VR basic level, and then I'm going to move something slightly so that I can save it. And I'm going to say save all, save as, in our assets, in our maps, and I'm going to call this one VR basic. I am here. Can people find me in VR basic? Philip has found me. Right? So if you're creating stuff from inside the engine, everyone can see that stuff. If we were going to import like something from Quixel, it wouldn't work. Quixel would involve, or if you're going to import something from like Make Human or something, you can't bring new assets. At this point, we're locked at the same everything that's in the engine, right? But we can make new things together. Now that people are joining in, Philip, will you move something? Will somebody add a light in? Right? So as they're moving things, as we're adding lights, we're building this world together now. This is all being saved, and this world, all these changes will persist when we leave. Charlene.
How do you know when you're the network or like this uh this net this network?
So, you'll be able to see in this either in the multi-user session right there, or if you didn't add in the icon, go to project. If you go to Window, Developer Tools, Multi-User Browser, if you bring up that browser, it should automatically search and find the session that we've created.
Yeah, because that the for things.
Yep.
I open my web user browser and it's saying like looking for the multi users.
Sure. Let me look at your settings real quick and just see if there's like a copy paste error. That'll take you 2 seconds to do. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go back to your settings real quick. And then let's do it. Is it okay to make what you so now do it with it? Yes. That's yours, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there are the top reviews. Makes you start an error on so that you'll do my other stuff. When you get it's going to be on the same way. We have this solution here. And you are as urgently for it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll spend some time on it so you get our message. I'll have to figure it out because it's transitive version. But you can follow along for right now, and then we'll see the work on it, right? On Max, it's just a little bit harder. Yeah, here, how what you do. What happened? With the weird rendering?
Oh, it's good though.
Yeah, so we're just in the editor, we don't have to hit play at all.
No, it's still like why did it get all grainy?
I do that.
Somebody might have added post-processing. Yeah. So again, this is his exquisite corpse, right? He created something that should not be, right? Yeah.
I'm not, no, I'm at my PC. I'm with a remote control right now.
Okay.
So, I know whether that's a problem or not. I'm just making sure my 0 2 is on.
How's your PC now?
Yeah.
Alright, so this is you flipped it around.
I'm sorry, what?
So how'd you get it?
Oh, it's the remote control.
Oh, you're on control. Yeah. Ah, so that's not the right IP address. So you are one ID code, so much more line two, look at one, two.
Oh,
That's the easiest one of all.
locking stuff. It doesn't really use the address.
Not your local one, yeah.
Oh, okay, geez.
It's a 021. Chromatic calibration is RGB shift. You get that slight vignetting to it that way. Nice. I'm not good. Cool. Right, so this seems to work. It can crash, it can get buggy, but they're really working on it to make it better. Cool. Awesome. So here's some things we can do. Awesome. All right. So moving on. Where is my presentation? Has disappeared. There we go. And we're back. All right, so we've seen some features. Let's flex it a little bit more right now, and let's try a couple more of these exercises to see some of the features. All right, so we've already done teleporting to find people in different maps. That works. What we're going to do now is work on sequencers, and this is kind of building into another workflow. So I'm going to create a sequencer real quick on my local computer here. And then I'll put it into our assets folder, sequencers. And I'm just going to call this Todd sequence. All right, so everyone should see Todd sequence. I'm going to move it to the top. I'm going to make it a little folder and call it 00 sequences. Makes it easier to find. And then everyone should be able to find Todd sequence and to open it up. Say open level sequence. You can also do it from the cinematics and open it on. If everyone's still in this map, you guys might have all left and gone somewhere else. Or I might not be connected anymore. All right, yeah, come find me. Join the VR basic. Open up the sequence. Cool. And there's these new buttons in sequencer that weren't there before. And these are all about multi-user editing. The first and the last one are kind of the most exciting. Now, if everyone has that sequencer open, you'll see that when I scrub, it scrubs on your screen as well. Cool. So this is a way you can direct to be a leader and say, hey, look, no, this is what's happening. So somebody's in control, but if somebody else wants to scrub it, go ahead and scrub it and take it from me, right? Everyone can control it. So that's cool. That's a way of navigating your sequencer. You guys get to fight over that. Another thing that's cool is I'm going to click on this final button, which is remote open. and click that on. Now I would ask everyone to now close sequencer. All right. And once you close sequencer, if I open it up, it should now open up and force it on everyone's computers. With this remote open, it should be that I can. We've decided this one sequencer should be one that everyone is connected with, and it should. If you click on remote open, if we close it out, that's the third button, and then I open it up. It should force it open on everyone else's computer too. And you have it selected on yours. Not essential, but it's also just like another cool feature of things that they have there. Right? Cool. So what I would like everyone to do who can make it inside of this map is to now create their own sequencer with their name in it and create a camera move, right? You can keep it as a default length. You can say, and I can take off these features so you guys can't control my sequencer. And everyone create a sequencer, right? Everyone create their own. Add a level sequencer, make it your name, put a camera in, and make a camera move. All right, so for those who can't join it, I'm going to make my camera, add it in, and then I'm going to animate the camera.
So we just write in this level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must make a sequence and just add camera inverse.
Everyone add their own sequencer, and then add your own camera to your own sequencer. Everyone's owning their own sequencer right now. Make a little camera move. Surprised no one's tried to make a landscape yet. That's what really screws it up. That ensures it gets crashed. All right. Cool. And as people start to add in their own camera moves, their own sequencers, I'm creating now a master sequencer that can bring in everyone's shots. So I'm going to add a track. We did this for the midterms. Add a shot track. And then I can see all these other sequencers with Andrews. All right. And then I could throw in, I saw Charlin's. Derek's. Oops. And last but not least, mine. And beautiful alphabetical order. And so as long as everyone inside of their own sequence has locked into their camera cuts track, as I scrub through, I should see everyone's work as they progress on it. All right, so we're able to be multiple camera operators in one at one time, creating all these different camera moves. Boom, we divided and conquered, and we've created all the coverage we need for this shot. Right. One thing I meant to do before we started was to upload a character so it could be having live motion capture, but you can also imagine live motion capture happening in the center of this.
It keeps memorized on their mind.
So there's going to be some human error, some confusion, but yeah, in general, everyone should be trying to be working in their own sequencer, and hopefully there's not too many conflicts and stuff. You might need to communicate with somebody and say, "Hey, stop." Cool. So that's the kind of idea. I'll let you guys kind of finish up shop there. All right. So my local computer crashed. Anyone else's crash? All right. So something happened. Some horrible snafu. I think we were also trying to break the tools, like I said, to do. Just wanted you guys to see these features. I'm going to go ahead and close. Well, actually, no. I'm going to keep on going. Okay. So we've seen some simultaneous playback and sequencer. We saw that I was able to actually see if the remote computer. Okay. So the remote computer is still running. So that's good. Here's all the changes that have been made. Every single thing, like it says, every cube, every sequencer, everything's right there. And that's good. So let me join so I can quit, and then we'll disembark together, which is important. How do you clean up after yourself when you're done? Again, we're still at version 44 locally, but it's because everything is still on the server on the other room, on the other computer. I'm not quite sure. Let's go say restore. All right. I'm going to rejoin. There it is. And so now it's uploading all those changes that happened back to my computer, right? It's giving me the most recent version from the local server, which is cool. And then I can find people should I need to. All right. So that's great. We're back at the map. If I open up my cinematics, I see that I have this master sequencer that has other people's sequencers in there. And we can see that we very quickly created enough coverage for an entire shot. As long as if you go in there and you actually lock in to the sequencers, the camera cuts. There you go. And there's my camera move at the end. Huh. Fun. So just FYI, you can create a new camera. Looks like somebody kept on stealing other people's cameras and putting it to their sequencer. So, I said try to break it, but maybe I was a little bit too literal. So anyway, that's good. It's all sequenced. We can figure it out later on. Let's see. All right. So now let's say we're done with our session. We've done our editing, we've done our lighting, we've had our delicious post processing. We need to now quit. So everyone, go ahead and exit, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. All right. So the multi-user browser, hit exit. You don't want to just quit your program. You want to exit. Yes.
How do like this, when we're editing like this, how do we like that to the?
That's what I'm getting to right now. Yeah. I'm showing you how to clean it all up in the end. Cool. So I just need. I'm gonna leave, and Dirk, I need you to leave. Uh-oh. Go ahead and crash. What was that?
How do you like?
Oh, there's a little arrow that says leave the current session on the top right. Oh, you can't see that one. Sorry about that. Sorry, I need to change this to underscan too. But yeah, so yours froze, or can you crash it?
Again, force code.
Yeah. Can you crash it? Well, you're not in right now. Oh, now you're in. Now you should be able to see it.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So I'm gonna be the last one to leave. All right, so now I'm gonna close the project, and we're now looking at my server. The server's hanging out here. It sees all the changes. Great, and it's gonna leave as well. He never left the main level. I'm gonna leave, and then you are about to leave a session containing changes. Do you want to persist the changes? That is the terminology. It is called ending a session. You want to persist session changes. All right. One thing I should note is that let me cancel real quick. Our source control, even if we weren't connected, was actually was called multi-user. I know that's tiny, but it says multi-user because our source control is no longer SVN. It took over, became multi-user source control. So I'm going to exit. Oh, sorry, cancel. I'm going to go up here to source control and say persist session changes. It sees all the things. It's basically just map changes because we didn't really add any assets to there. I'm going to submit to source control, say first live multi-user session. Submit to source control. And now it's uploading everything through the engine. My session still exists. I'm going to keep my session because we'll just continue to use the same session. We'll just join it whenever we want to. The session, actually, no, I'm going to close everything. I'll close a server. Actually, I'm not sure if I close the server and the session. Like, choice. Anyway, once this is done uploading, I will close everything and close the server, and then we'll be tidy, and then everything will be up in version control. All right, so changes are now committed. My session's still there. I'm going to, let's see, leave current session. Shouldn't be anything there. Right, because I've already done. So let's just close out. And then and then now I have my session. I can go ahead and archive it. I come back to it. Or I could delete it. It's not letting me do either. You want? Yes. Just there we go. Now I closed. Okay. And then now I have the option to join or archive or rename or delete this session. I'll just leave it as is for right now. Close it. And then here's the server. Close it. And if I go to my local computer, I should be able to pull everything we just did. And so my local computer now, I have version 45, and there's every change that we made for our project. Cool. Thank you for sticking with me. I know that got a little hairy. It is cool. It does. I don't want to get in the way of things. It's better just us to work and do our homework, and then be ready to jam on stuff in class. But yeah, so that gets us started with the multi-user. I'm going to end this recording